Hey everybody, welcome back to
that episode of Nat 2.
Another episode
where it's
Nat
just
2.
the two of us.
Where it's just the two of us.
Another episode of Nat 2.
Naturally.
We are recording in a different location. I think this is the fourth location
that
we've recorded in.
Maybe we should just invest in a studio with our none money.
With our zero aggregate money. The thing about this is, here's the journey, y'all. We've been recording this podcast since
June of last year. Wow.
Coming up on our 1 year anniversary. Wow. Well, okay, so it's March now. So April, May, June. So that's probably going to be like, what? 15 more episodes? Give or take.
It's funny because we have hoarded a lot of episodes. Like, we still haven't released yet.
We're on 33.
Yeah, episode 33.
33.
Still haven't released yet. We're coming up on it, you know?
Yeah, we're getting there. This is for us, okay?
We really have no timetable for this, so that's why we're like, well...
we also really have no time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both have jobs. I am in school.
That we're full-time.
When we say where it's just the two of us, we literally mean...
We don't have we also have no skills or knowledge.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about any of this. So again,
like,
as
learning
you know,
how to edit and upload and etc. Also,
and DM.
and DM and play
the game at all.
Like, we learned digital art for this. Like, Monica's still learning digital art.
Yeah, I don't know how to do jack, but we're getting there.
The art that has been released so far. I mean, well, who knows? This is episode 33. Maybe
by the time
this
gets released, yeah, I might actually know a thing or two. Golly Wally. Friggin', you know that thing that's like, oh, you learn a new skill and everyone's like, I suck now. It's going to take so much time for me to learn the skill. And then it's like, time will pass regardless. And then you're like, oh, well, now I'm motivated. I wish that I could just, like, blink and we skip, like, 2 years in the future when all of this is done. And I can look back on it fondly. Because right now I'm like, okay, I gotta go to work. And then in my 30-minute lunch break, I'm going to write some of the episode.
Yeah, friggin', I'll be like, okay, I'm at work and I come home, okay, now I have 6 assignments due this weekend, but what I'm gonna do instead is create the backgrounds for episode 4.
That's my priority. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so we're going through it. You know, really, what we want is to be monetized. Why? So that we could buy things like a building to record.
Yeah, you know, the cats are fighting outside the door.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't hear anything ever. You guys. If you hear cats fighting,
it's because there's cats fighting.
It's because there's cats and they're fighting. That's so funny. It's the first time the cats have been a problem. Friggin', we're recording upstairs in the place that we live.
Yeah, so that the tertiary person that we live with can exist in the house.
Can be home.
Although they're not home.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the other reason is that we have Monica has rats.
Yeah. Well, you can claim them.
Okay. Well,
there are rats.
They claim in the room. They live in the room.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll wake up and decide that they're gonna eat for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah, and then we just sit there in silence. Sometimes we, a little break, a little lunch, a little water, a little snack. But mostly we sit there and stare at walls. And, like, we'll say, like, one sentence in between them eating a kernel.
The Colonel. Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel. They're eating him whole.
His head is downstairs in my rat cage.
We feed a part of the body to them every week.
Oh,
They're
we have
eaters.
the whole body of him. That's all they eat.
It's just
the KFC guy. I went on. Hey, if you have rats, Isamu rats. you know what I'm talking about. And they have a webpage that says it's got like a preferred diet and stuff like that.
And it's the Colonel.
Literally. It's just a picture of him and then the words, you know what's going on. You can make, because apparently like it's a bit, there's so rat food. What does this have to do with
nothing?
Anything at all?
Oh, live we're recording in a new area. We were talking about because the rats make noise, and then you just wanted to talk about your rat eating food.
Why, though?
No reason. Really no reason.
No, I'm sure there was one. Man, it'll come to me afterwards. I'll come at you in the next episode
when I re-listen
with a stunning conclusion.
You're
to my
freaking
tangent.
like write notes and being like, I remember. You're
yes.
gonna come back with a cork board and like the red lines being like, remember when I said this? It
There's
connects to this.
About the MRI, and I took an MRI of my rat's brain, and they love you guys. That's the love center of their. I said Nat 2 listeners,
audience, yeah.
And they said who, and then I smacked them in their little rat cheeks. I wouldn't do that. And then they said, "Sorry, mistress." We know them and we love them.
Sorry, mistress.
Sorry, mistress.
Oh, sorry, mistress.
Sorry, mistress.
Well,
anyway.
in the last episode of that too.
Yeah, dude, regale us. I banged the thing. Yeah, dude, regale us.
Oh, you banged the table.
I banged the table, yeah.
I banged the episode. We made sweet, sweet love.
I mean, we made freaking sweet, sweet love to episode 32.
Well, so in the last episode...
Do you guys say...
Good Lord.
Making love?
Oh, this is a thing. The friggin... Monica thinks that the term making love is like... What,
hysterically?
erotic?
It's not. It's definitely. It's the most funny way to say like.
I
have
think
sex.
it's kind of cute. I don't know.
It's very like we made love, like Shakespearean.
Well, yeah, but that's the point. It's like okay,
when you're
what are the other ways to say that isn't? I mean, we had sex. But
that's the only acceptable. That is the unflavored way. That is the white soda way of saying have sex.
Well, yeah, that's
making love.
I think that if you're like, yeah, we had sex, it's very like flat. It could mean anything.
Yeah,
it could mean we got the candles out and we're in love, or it could mean he
blew out the candles.
I had to say I'm sorry, mistress.
It's any type of thing. But I feel like if I was talking to someone, right? And people casually mention sometimes when they have sex.
Right.
Which.
Why?
Well, I mean, you do you, bro. I just can't. It wouldn't be me. That's all I mean. Mostly because I've never done it before, but also if I did, I don't feel like I'd be like, yeah, when I was having sex last night. Is that? Well, here we're gonna alienate. So look, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it wouldn't be me.
I think that there's a time and place.
There's a time and place, but sometimes the time and place is at work when I'm on a break and you're on a break, and all of a sudden you're not you personally, but this third party is just like, oh yeah, I was having sex last night, and then you're like, cool. Time to freaking check the heck out of this conversation.
I think because like to me, when somebody's like, oh, I was having sex, I'd be like, now I have this visual in my head I don't want to have. You are talking about you having sex, and now my brain is like, you were having sex. That's what this looks like. And I'm like, no.
No, I wish I didn't. My brain, instead, I'll start keeping a tally.
Of how many times I've had sex?
I'll be like, if they mention it twice, I'll be like,
You've had sex at least twice.
You've had sex at least twice in that piece of information.
Not lying.
Yeah. Freaking, however, he's like, oh, yeah, I had sex and it was great. I don't know what you would say about that. But if instead they were just like, oh, I made love to my wife last night. Is that not hilarious? You're posted up like drinking a latte. Yeah, like I made love to my wife. You're letting me into your like personal world.
I think that
intimacy.
That's not like when you use it. I don't know. Like I think that when you say like make love. I think it's like when you're asking somebody to do it with you. Like you're like,
hold on. No. You're telling me in a scenario,
right?
A gentleman suitor
right
would approach me and say,
okay,
is it cool if I make love to you?
No. If anybody approached me and just said, hey, can we have sex? I'd be like, no. If it's like
but if let's make love. No. You're like,
if it's in a situation where you're freaking like, I don't know, you're married. You know, picture this, you're married.
You sound like you're about to cry. It's a situation where you're married. You're in love and you're gonna express it.
And you're getting ready for bed, right? And you know, there's one lamp on, it's nice soft lighting, whatever. You're like brushing your teeth. Your husband comes to the door of the bathroom and he's looking at you and you're like, what? Like around all the foam and the toothbrush, and he's just like
good.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You can talk.
You have a mild case of rabies. Nothing turns on my man more than.
And he calls you beautiful. He says that you're so beautiful, and then you're like, oh, like, you know, all blushing and stuff.
Oh, shut up. Spit out toothpaste.
You know what I mean.
Single drip.
You have talked with brushing your teeth, and it's normal. You could talk around freaking a toothbrush. It's not that hard. Anyways.
Hey, beautiful. No, freaking, that's a specific guy. Spin me the yarn. Finish the blanket.
No, because you're not appreciating it.
No, I'm appreciating it so hard that I won't let you finish because I won't shut up. Keep going. I'm there.
And then calls you beautiful. You blush, whatever. He's looking at you all lovingly.
Right.
And then he's like, and then he like, you know, looks down at the ground and he says all quietly, he's like, can I make love to you? That would be romantic and beautiful.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
I'm charmed. I was fully ready to be like, I'm there, and I'm not into it. And then you're just like, okay, can I make love to you is different.
What?
Think about it like this, though.
Well, it's like, it's the difference between somebody
soft
saying...
lighting.
Yeah.
I'm spitting out toothpaste. It's hot. It's hot and heavy. There's candles lit or not. You do you. Now, freaking blinding white light, a midnight freaking drive to the establishment that someone works at. And you're hanging out with your coworker who you don't know that well. And they go, oh, I was making love last night. And
well,
then
but that's
like,
that's what I'm saying though, is that there's a time and place for that vernacular. There's a time and place for the vernacular saying I was fucked. Like, you know, you have a one night stand. You're not gonna be like, we made love. If
would
it was
you say
hot
that?
And heavy. What?
You had a one night stand.
No, I think that you'd be like, oh, I fucked somebody last night, or I screwed somebody.
Stand.
You know, or I banged someone. Like, you know, something more.
I screwed someone last night.
I don't know. I feel like, you know, you wouldn't say like, oh, I made love with somebody last night.
Can you make love with someone? I feel like you make love to someone.
I think it's weird. I mean, I think either. I mean, you know, maybe the other person isn't making love back. Maybe they're not.
Oh, it's a one-sided. They're like not.
They're not in love with you.
They're there for the love of the game.
Yeah, they're making love to the game, not to you.
Yeah, they're like, I like this part.
Well, you know. Anyways, that would be so nice, you know.
We're gonna start now.
Anyways, I proved my point.
What happened last episode?
In the last episode, a lot happened actually. We were the lads, and they were out walking about and having some conversations, and took a break. Talking about, you know, what they were going to do if they saw a finch and what they were going to say. And basically it was like, we're going to let them know some stuff, but not everything, because if we let them know everything, then they might turn us in, which would not be good. So we're just going to have to feel a little bit bad about that. And then they took a break and ate some wind clay berries, and Lucian and Ethiod regaled some stories of their youth that isn't over yet because they're still youthful. especially at the end. And saw some cool descriptions of freaking create food and water. That was cool. I love that.
What can I say, baby? It's so like, the fact that you're on board with it really is necessary.
Well, yeah, I think it's cool as hell.
It's all flavor, really.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. As long as we're using the spells within the range, within the parameters that they're allowed to be used, then...
Yay, verily.
Which we might be doing that wrong, but,
I don't care at all.
And then, they saw Finch and his dad coming up the road, and where Finch promptly broke his arm.
Jumped off the roof of the carriage and broke his arm before they got to him.
And Lucian was able to fix it, and basically that ensured their ability. Let me tell y'all, I did not do that to make their chances of going there easy.
You didn't know anything about it.
I didn't think you were going to make me break my arm. I thought that it was just going to be like you get freaking banged up or whatever. I didn't realize it was going to be like you snap your arm in half.
Oh, I was only going to do it if you rolled max damage.
And I did.
You did. Yeah. There we go.
So, but basically ensured their ability to stay at the Little Daisy. And then they went on their way after they fixed his arm.
Yeah, and getting a ride there as well.
Yeah, everybody's on the carriage. I don't think that there's a single person walking.
No, that's funny because I was thinking about it and I was just like, okay, 12 kids. I don't know, they're kid sized. You can cram a bunch of kids in a small spot. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, so they could be on the roof at the Iron Fingers. Yeah. And then there's got to be some sort of like up front area. So who's not gonna be on there? And I was like, oh, Lucian. And I was like, well, we could stick him somewhere.
Yeah. And then we had a little bit of the gals and singular lad. I mean, I guess Scented is there. And so we had a bit of that where they were in the carriage, they were talking a little bit, and then they came across it was so funny because Iffy started like 3 stories, and then nobody let her finish them at all. But it's fun to think about because I was like, oh, I was starting 3 stories, and then I interrupted myself as Tavumile, and I was like pissed about that. I was like, bro, let me say my damn story.
I'm in the middle of the story. I'm also me.
But I just wanted to ask you a question. But I also want to say my story. So, and then I get sidetracked. And then Thalen was saying that I don't listen to people, which, anyways. So they were having that conversation. And then they came across some guards that stopped the carriage and basically were just like inspecting it to make sure that they weren't like smuggling anything in. But then learned that they were a theater group and was like, cool, you're gonna put on a little performance for us.
It was crazy, the rolls. I was rolling to see like the guards' interest, like what they would think about it, like how they would react to it. And the first guard, I was rolling to think if he would think it was like suspicious or something, and he rolled like some ridiculously low number, and then I'd be like, oh, he'd be really enthusiastic about it, and then I was like, well, how would he react if he would want to see some of it, and I was just like, okay, and I don't have an explanation for Bugnut.
Frungit.
I was just like, none of anything I was saying that had to do with it. It didn't make any sense. I was like, okay, that'll just be him.
Frungit
the legend
was amazing.
Of Frungit. So anyway, that's everything that happened.
That was that on that.
That was just that.
Yezi kind of got a sense that there was something else going on and that they weren't just interested in the play. And she let Iffy know about that, and Iffy was basically like, well, we'll do this second scene for them, and then if they don't let us leave, we'll figure out something else. And so they're kind of like on the lookout for that.
Yeah. Cool. It's getting darker. It's getting dark. It's like just starting. It's like at the very beginning of dusk. You can see all of the skies, clouds are becoming more, saturations going up on the sky, that sort of thing. You can see that the light's getting a little bit dimmer. and you are all clippity-clopping on your way now still to Yendor Talenthi. You all being Tavumile and friends.
Yeah.
And on the road, there's a general aura of kind of both relief and impatience going on. And you've been on the road. You all know that you've been on the road for roughly an hour, something like that.
Okay, so this is a little bit in the past.
There's a little bit of the future.
Oh, in the future.
Indeed.
Okay.
You shall see this. After you were able to, you got back on, in the mission, there was kind of a sense of unease about everybody. And so you've all been relatively quiet except for the occasional story from Iffy because she can't help herself. What story is she in the middle of when we pop back up in the sitch?
I realized that I never finished my story about how I know a lot of cheap jokes. If y'all are interested, I can finish it if you want. I would like to hear it. I like jokes. I don't know what cheap jokes mean, though. I didn't realize that jokes could be expensive. No, I think, no, cheap jokes means, like, jokes that ain't funny. I mean, like, they don't have a creativeness to them, I guess. I mean, they could be creative. It just means that they're bad. Bad jokes. That's all it means. Well, yeah. I mean, some of them are good. No, not. I mean, I've never heard. If somebody wants to tell a joke, I've never been impressed. I'll just say that. Oh, honey, it seems like you ain't that impressed with a lot of stuff, so...
You don't know a single good joke, Izzy.
I don't know a single good joke.
It's got to be one.
I think that she's, like, looking up, like, thinking, well, I know one in Primordial. It doesn't translate well if you want to hear it.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? All right. How do you want the cliffs to be steeper? Why?
Was that the word why, Iverson?
Yeah.
Please continue.
What?
Why?
What?
It's not a word.
Yeah, it is.
It's a
Why?
sound.
Why?
Why?
Are you gonna make fun of me?
I was trying to find out.
Oh, Mr. Proper Boy here.
What? Look, I was
What?
just... Izzy, finish your joke, please.
Well, you can't take it back.
Oh, and Izzy, ask me.
Do you want me to repeat
Yes.
it? All right. How do you want the cliffs to be steeper?
Why?
I think if he kind of looks at him like, uh-huh. Because it makes retrieving your arrow easier. I don't understand. Well, I told you it didn't translate well. I don't think...
Is it a sexual joke? I'm just personally interested.
Where did you get that from?
Well, it's not. It doesn't work. It's, jokes between Elvish and Common. There's many that if you translate them directly, they're not going to make any sense. I was just curious.
Can I ask, what about that? Could it be sexual?
I don't know. I don't know how it works with your situation anyway.
Oh, we use arrows and steep
I
cliffs.
don't mean it like that. Well, we've got lots of euphemisms for that sort of thing.
Oh?
Like...
I want to hear some of them. A high elf euphemism. What does euphemism mean? It just means another word for something.
I want to pass. Can I pass?
No, you can't pass.
Well, like, what's a common one then?
A common one?
Yes, like a euphemism for that sort of thing.
Oh, for like humans?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, there's plenty of them. Do you want one that's like vulgar? You want one that's nice?
What's a nice one?
A nice
A general one?
Making love?
That's not a euphemism.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
What do you think a euphemism is?
I'm trying to think of one in common and I can't. What?
Screwing?
No, I'm like.
What do you think a euphemism is? Well, we had coitus. That would be the non-euphemistic. I know, that's what I'm saying.
Well, look, I can't think of one right now, but a high elf one is polishing your doorknobs.
Oh, good lord. Oh.
You see, that's the only one that comes to mind, so I didn't want to say it. But that's what I mean. You would have no indication that that's what it meant unless you knew what it meant.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yes, a euphemism.
Oh, I know one. Okay, I know what you mean now. I thought you meant like, just different words for it, because that's basically what a euphemism is. But, knocking boots.
Ah, there you go. See,
that was one used in the war a lot. People would say, "Oh, we knock boots."
Oh, is it because you wore boots?
Yeah, you use your deductive reasoning to.
Yes, well.
I'm going to interject. No, it is not sexual. It is literally about killing people. Oh.
Well, nothing's more fun and enjoyable than that, I understand.
I have a question.
Directed towards?
I don't understand the euphemisms. That's sort of big words. And I don't understand why we're talking about it. A
euphemism is just like using something that's similar as a comparison to something else.
Well, no, I understand that. If he said that as a word used for something else. But, why would you want a euphemism for something sexual? Well, I mean, 'cause it's like a sensitive topic, Or is it a sensitive topic? I don't know if I should...
Well, Tavumile, you don't just go around saying that you're, making love to your wife or something like that.
Why not?
Because it's, I don't know, it's propriety, that sort of thing.
What does propriety mean?
Like manners.
Is it bad manners?
Yeah, well, I'd say so,
I think it depends on the person. I wouldn't care.
Well... regardless, it can be used in a humorous way.
I wouldn't know. Good on
All right,
ya.
so,
anyways,
so a lot of jokes.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Your turn.
Cool. Wait, to tell a joke? Can I finish my damn story first?
Was that not fine?
That wasn't the story. My story is, I know a lot of cheap jokes. End of story.
I thought that you were going to perform for us or something.
No.
I know a lot of jokes. One time a human and a high elf walk into a bar.
And what happened?
They get broken noses and they go to the hospital. I don't know.
Good lord. Y'all are bad at telling jokes.
It's a metal bar.
Tavumile, do you know any jokes?
I thought it was funny. Well, I suppose you'd be the expert.
Well, let me tell you that I know a lot of cheap jokes, but they ain't funny. That's the point of them being cheap. I don't know.
But you're not going to tell us any of them.
Well, okay, if you let me tell my damn story, maybe a joke would come out of it. I would give you an example.
You don't want to prove your...
Oh, good lord. I'll tell you a joke right now.
I know a lot of jokes. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you any. You just got to have to take my word for it.
Okay, fine. She, raises one of her hands and starts waving. She's like, why doesn't the king wave with this hand?
I don't know.
Because it's mine. I told you they ain't funny.
what you're trying to say is that the way that you learn these jokes is more interesting than the jokes themselves. Okay, got it.
If y'all would just let me talk. Ifferson, you've been talking this whole time. I mean, I think it is alright for us to say stuff.
Trying to engage in the conversation. Thank you, Yezi. I'm trying to let you know that I'm listening. Okay, let me hear a joke. And you're like, actually, this is not about the jokes. In fact,
it really ain't
why
about
would you
the
think
joke?
that it would be about the jokes that I've just brought up? I actually hate jokes. Jokes are my least favorite thing. I'm allergic and I'll break out into hives. But I will tell you the incredibly interesting story of how I learned the jokes.
Can you be allergic to jokes? No, well, yeah, actually. You know what? Yeah, you can be. You can be deathly allergic to jokes, so you gotta be careful, Tavumile. I didn't know that. That sounds scary.
It's not common. I feel like Lucian's allergic to jokes.
Really? Well, I've told him jokes before.
Has he laughed?
Yes.
What jokes have you told Lucian that made him laugh? We'll get to yours in a minute. Like, waves you off.
If he just, like, rolls her eyes, she's like, alright. I told him that sometimes I steal buttons off of people's sweaters. Tavumile, that ain't a joke.
Do you genuinely do it, or do you just said it to make him laugh?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, you sound quite...
Well, because I know it's bad. I know that I shouldn't do it because it's stealing. Well,
everyone check your buttons.
I haven't taken any. I'm not really good at it.
You're doing it covertly.
Yes.
It's not really a joke.
Well, you thought it was really funny. Well, honey, funny things can happen, but that doesn't mean it's a joke. Oh.
A joke is you think that someone is going to say one thing and then they say something else, and the unexpectedness of what they've said is interesting and it makes you sometimes laugh. It's funny. But it's got to be it can't just be a true thing, then it's just funny.
Somebody says one thing and then they say something unexpected.
Yes.
We're in a carriage and she pauses for a second. I really like tomatoes. Alright, then.
I've got to say.
So it made you laugh. So that was a joke.
It was. I fit all of the criteria.
You know,
Look
you're
at
great at
even
this.
Yezi is trying not to.
I'm not
exactly.
laughing. I'm not laughing. Yeah, all right. You ain't laughing.
Senthet you can't hear him laughing because he laughs silently. He's just, you hear like, oh, Tavumile.
I'm really good at this.
That might be my favorite joke I've ever heard.
Well, it's funnier than any joke I've ever told. That's for sure. Look, can I tell my story now?
I've not told a joke yet.
All right. Well, you did try, and it was bad.
What was the joke I told?
Bar.
Oh, well, I just came up with that one. I'll think of one while you're talking. I'll not pay attention instead.
Yeah,
I'll think of one while you're talking.
Look, the reason why I know a lot of cheap jokes is from being in the war, right? You know how I said...
Oh, yes, obviously.
What?
Anyway, talk.
Okay. You know how I said that I didn't used to listen all that well? Well, my commanding officer, Vatil, that fella I was talking about, well, he wasn't my commanding officer for the first year. And my first commanding officer, he was a wreck. You know, he really wasn't somebody to listen to at all. And none of us did listen to him because he was making stupid decisions, stuff that was going to get us all killed. And eventually it kind of did. So I had to transfer to a different unit with Batil. And he was someone that you needed to listen to. And that's for sure. I was not used to that. And, well, I wasn't in the habit of saying sir whenever I was addressing him. Why would you have to say sir? Well, it's just like a thing in the war, like, respect. It kind of, shows that that he's, above you.
Say it to an officer, Tavumile. They're like in charge of you, and so you call them sir.
Well, I don't call my mum ma'am, and she's in charge of me.
Well, you're not in the military.
So it's just a military thing.
Sort of.
Well, yeah, it for sure is a military thing. It's not just a military thing. I mean, you could do it in any other circumstance. But I wasn't in the habit of saying sir when I was addressing to him. So every time that I didn't, he would, make me run laps. He would make me, do push-ups or whatever. And I wouldn't even realize why I got in trouble until he was like, you didn't say sir, or you addressed me disrespectfully or whatever. And eventually I got in the habit of doing it. But also eventually he didn't really care that much because, got other stuff going on during the war. But one of the times he decided that for, I think it was about a month straight, every time I wanted to talk to him, I had to tell him a joke first. Otherwise, he wasn't going to talk to me. He would pretend like he didn't hear me if I tried to come up. One time I was playing, do you guys know knife roulette?
No. Oh, of course.
I do. I know what that is. I'm really good at it because, and she, holds up her hand, stun. What's knife roulette? Well, you'd stick your hand out on a table flat and you spread your fingers out. And you let somebody else with a knife go in between your fingers back and forth. And then they speed up faster and faster. And, you just basically, you're like, either I'm going to get stabbed or they're going to be able to finish. There's it's not really a song, but it's kind of like a rhyme that you say. And you keep going faster and faster when you get towards the end of the rhyme.
What's the rhyme?
All right, you want to hear it? All right. It's, how does it go? Oh, I have on my fingers. The knife goes chop, chop, chop. If I miss the spaces in between my fingers, they'll come off. And if I hit my fingers, the blood will soon come out. But all the same, I play this game because that's what it's all about. Oh, chop, 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 chop. I'm picking up the speed, and if I hit my fingers in my hand, will start to bleed. That's what you say.
Beautiful song.
Well, I told you it's not really a song. I'm sure it's meant to be a song. Ain't like none of us knew really, how it goes. We just wanted to play a game that was stupid. So, you do that, and you go faster and faster and faster until you got to the end of that, that little whatever the heck it's called. And I was really good at it. I'm pretty coordinated. The other lads weren't so good at it. So... One time, we were playing that game, and I got stabbed straight through the hand, right? And, what you looking at me like that?
Nothing, it's one time we were playing a game, and I got stabbed through the hand.
Hey, that ain't the worst thing that's happened to me. She, winks at him.
I think he, looks away.
So, I'm bleeding, but I'm like, well... If I tell my officer that we were playing this game, we all gonna get in trouble. So what I'm gonna do instead is go up to him and ask him if I could go to the medical tent because I've hurt my hand, right? And so I go up to him and I go, sir, can I go to the medical tent? My hand, I cut it on accident.
What was that, Bumry? I didn't hear you.
Sir, can I go to the medical tent? I hurt my hand.
You're quite far away. Let's try to speak up a bit. Maybe I can hear you.
Right.
I'd hurry up. That looks nasty.
Yeah, she looks down at her hand. What's short and orange all over?
Careful now, lass.
Carrot.
Ooh. I thought you were going to have to go to the medical tent for another reason.
I know my place.
I'm not sure. I don't think you want it enough.
Alright, What do you call a frog that loves having sex? A horny toad.
Oh, that's worse.
Okay.
Their chances are slipping down that drain.
I feel like blood's like dripping down her hand. I could do a long one for you. You want one that's long?
I don't know if you got time for that.
Well, she like opens her hand and looks at it. I'll be fine. Okay. All right. No. Okay. Not long. What do you call a crime fighting ant? I'm sorry, sir. It's been almost a month now. I'm running out.
What's that then?
A vigilante.
It's getting there.
She like looks at it, it's like soaking her sleeve.
Let's go for one more.
Or
You really, impressed me with this.
Really impressed you. Oh, good lord. All right. Okay, sure. I'll pull up my long one. It's the only one that I have. A guy said to God, is it true that to you a billion years is like a second? And God said yes. And the guy said, God, is it true that to you a billion gold is like a copper? And God said yes. And the guy said, God, can I have copper? And God said, sure, just a second. Can I go now?
I think that was the worst one so far.
Oh, no.
He's like vaguely looking at you over his shoulder. He turns, like, looks at you fully. And, like, you see him open his mouth to say something. He's like, are you alright?
Well, I mean, I hurt my hand.
And he's like looking at you like your color.
Yeah.
Like he's like looking at your face, and he's like, Bumley, if you do not get yourself to the medical tent right now.
Alright! She like turns and runs.
You're pissing at you. I hear it as you're leaving. I don't know. I think I would have let you bleed out if I was him, frankly.
What?
None of those were good.
None of them were good.
Of course not.
I think the God one's good.
I think the best one was the carrot, when I suppose he thought you were talking about him.
Yeah, he's I'm what, 8 inches taller than him.
I've got to say, that's not that surprising. I think you're 8 inches. Well, yeah, it's certainly 8 inches taller than me.
Hey, he's about the same height as you, if I'm recalling correctly. I don't understand the God one. Well, honey.
How can anyone understand God,
I don't know. She, like, looks down all, like, serious.
Anyway, I suppose that's where you learned it, then.
What?
Well, I mean, your comedic talent or whatever, at least your ability to come up with things on the spot. I mean, that came in quite useful moments ago.
Well, it's sort of. I mean, I think that's part of where I learned it from, but I think also I'm just naturally charismatic. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
Look, I think that it is a relatively good skill to have, being able to come up with stuff on the spot. You were really good at that. You were just in the war and then never had a job where you had to pretend to be somebody else. No. I've always been proud to be Everson Bombery. I ain't never want to pretend to be nobody else. Except for, well, now.
Well, still, I mean, you were hilarious. I think you're quite funny usually, but...
Oh, just not right now.
Well, no, not right now, especially not now. It's gone down a few ticks since this conversation began. But yes, you as well. I mean, you cried.
Well, I mean, I can cry on command. It's good, when somebody feels bad for a damsel in distress, they tend to let their guard down.
Oh, I see. Well, I can see why that would be.
Yeah, you really do got that, like, femme fatale thing going on. Okay. She, like, rolls her eyes and looks like, well, it's true. I mean, you know, you're pretty and you're, like, got that sultry voice. I sure as hell don't have that.
I think Thalen, like, looks at you, like, kind of, like, nods a little bit.
I like your voice. Well, you can like somebody's voice, but that doesn't mean it's sultry. I guess so. Is my voice sultry? No. Your voice also ain't sultry. Neither is Cynthia's, and neither is Thalen's.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
I can be sultry.
Oh, yeah, be sultry.
I don't know how to... but I'm certain that my voice could do it.
Try to think of something sultry to say, and then practice. I don't know. I mean, Yazzie, what's something sultry to say?
Give me a line.
Give you a
What's
line.
my sultry hook?
I don't know. I mean, you know, it depends on the situation. All right, I'll give you a situation. I don't know. I think of something that you've said before, you know? Like something that, like a situation that you've been in. A situation that I've been in. Where I've had to be sultry.
I don't know how much I want to know that.
I'm not going to give you details.
I know, but still.
But do you not want me to give you a line? I want you to give him a line.
It's not one from reality.
All right. You look beautiful tonight. You could say that, sultry.
All right.
If somebody walked up to me and went,
Who should I say it to?
I don't know. Whoever.
Say it to me, lad. I want to feel beautiful. I'm not saying it to Cynthia.
Say it to Cynthia.
I'm not going to say it. Say, oh,
you can
well,
say
lad,
it
I'm
to
giving
me.
you it. No.
Are you scared of a big
cannot.
blue fella?
I've Tavumile a couple of years. He threatened me twice with physical harm, and actually, the first time it wasn't a threat. He did try to punch me, and I just happened to dodge it.
Oh, damn.
Thank you. So, it's not that I'm scared, it's just that I'm not stupid.
Well.
You look beautiful tonight, he says it to you. But hold on, let me say it sultry.
I was going to say, that wasn't sultry.
Come on, Thalen.
I'm waiting.
You look beautiful tonight.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Oh, you're charmed.
I'm not charmed. But that was pretty good.
Thank you. I don't practice that sort of thing in front of the mirror for just such an occasion.
That sounds like a confession.
It is. It was a joke.
Why would you...
What?
I think Yazzie just kind of laughs a little bit. What, have you never had any real experience?
Well, I mean, I've had...
He asked me out on a date.
There you go.
I don't think that you sounded sultry, though. You sounded really, worried.
Well, I was...
I was probably worried that you would say no. Oh, I didn't say no. Well, I said no later. But, I'm in love with Lucian. So... Oh, yeah, I think we're all aware of that.
It was funny. When we first met up, I mean, you know, Lucian came to the liquor store and Fingers and Ethiod were there.
Right.
And we were all talking. It sort of came out that was the plan, that I intended to go on a date with someone the next day. And I sort of was concerned about how Lucian would react, because clearly he cared for you a lot due to various evidence that was true. But he didn't seem to care at all. And I thought maybe it was because, it's, you know, he's I don't know, charged with not like siblings, but it's not like that, or something like that. But I think he just dismissed it out of hand as being any sort of threat.
Really? Why would it be a threat?
Well, because, I mean, if he loves you, then
He does love me.
Oh, but that's not in question. I mean, he loves you. So if I was sort of making a move on you, would that not be disturbing to him? And it wasn't. And I thought maybe at first it was because I had misjudged the relationship, but I realized later it was because...
You know what? You gotta love a man with confidence.
But yes.
Maybe that's something you should practice in the mirror, Thalen. Confidence. You had quite a bit of confidence earlier today. Coming up with that on the spot I realized that the map was on the front page.
I don't want to talk about it. If it's all the same to you, I peed my pants.
You were good.
Well, I ought to be at this point.
What do you mean?
Well, I told you about my slam poetry and my belt and all of that sort of thing. I've performed once or twice.
All right. Do you have any slam poetry that you care to share with us?
Dear God.
Actually, I would like to hear that.
No.
No?
No.
None at all?
No, I think
You've never memorized a piece once?
No. Why would I do that? But I can bring a book on stage.
Yeah, but isn't it more impressive if you don't have to?
I don't know. I've never won. Except for the time that I did that I told you about. I certainly won then. It was so nerve-wracking.
Well, you know.
I
think this whole thing's been a bit... Well, I haven't had my nerves be racked, but my nerves are kind of, you know, made of steel, so... My nerves are made of rock. Which one's stronger, do you think? Steel or rock?
She's made of rock. Do you know that? He's gonna wink at Yezi.
What? Are you being racist? Sorry, I'm proud of my culture.
I just think it's funny that anytime anybody mentions anything about you, you go, oh, but I'm made of rock.
Just in case you forget.
Is it the most interesting thing about you?
Don't think you want to know anything about me. I want to know stuff about you. If we're friends. Are we friends?
Of course we are.
Oh, I thought so. I mean, yeah, we're friends. Well, you're going to have to work for it to get to know anything about me. In what way? I don't know. I'll deem it that you're deserving to know information about me. All right. See, you had, that's what I mean by femme fatale, you know, you're all mysterious and sultry and whatever. It draws people to you, and then, you know, it's disappointing. No, I'm kidding. Yes, he gives her a death glance. She's like, look, I'm making a joke. I said we were friends. This is what I'm gonna do. Don't kill me with your rock hands. Although I can't die, so you could try. See how that goes. I'm not going to kill anyone. Right. Well,
I was concerned about the situation, you know. Us being stuck there. Did you either of you get any insight into what it was that they were?
I mean, they weren't really interested in the play, that's for sure. I don't know what they were interested in, but they wanted to keep us there. I really don't know why.
Maybe they
liked us.
Perhaps, but maybe they were trying to delay us. I mean, they let us go. I don't know what it was specifically.
Maybe there was something going on, you know? They were specifically told to delay whoever came through. Maybe it had nothing to do with us. They didn't seem suspicious at all, and I'm sure if they were suspicious, then something else would have happened.
I think it's just like the Talenthi guards.
Oh, what you mean by that?
They're like that. Have you not dealt with them before, Ifferson?
I have. Yes, he kind of looks off to the side. I mean, not necessarily.
Well, I mean, we were sort of being quite defiant, I guess.
Were we being defiant?
Well, I think that we weren't, yes, sir, of course, sir, that sort of thing. You're talking about...
Oh, is that the other situation where you would do that? I mean, I guess. You don't really have to, though.
It shows politeness. The point is this. You aren't, all that sort of thing. You're making conversation, that sort of... I think, asking about, oh, well, we've got to be on our way, that sort of thing. I think that they were just trying to make sure,
Who's boss?
that would be, reminiscent of... Certainly, it wouldn't surprise me, is all I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Either way, or they had to stay out there all day and they wanted a bit of a, entertainment.
And that's definitely probably part of it. I've experienced that. It's, Talenthi guards and Withway guards. I have to say I would much rather prefer to deal with Withway guards, but it's because they don't stand their ground.
Well, either way, at this rate, there's no way he's like looking out at the world. There's no way that we'll make it to the castle town before nightfall. And there's a gate. I mean, they shut the gates. There's no way they'll let you in. Certainly
No
after
way.
dark.
Well, do they have to let me in? If I could see it, then I could get in to pass the gates.
Well, if you're going to see the king, no. What makes you think you won't be able to? Maybe you could get through the gates. I mean, illegally.
Yeah, I don't think that I
Thus
think that we should
risking
do
the
this
operation.
legally.
But either way, it's the king. There's no way the king will see you before the morning.
But doesn't he... don't I need him to know that I'm there? Well, I mean, honey, like we said, we ain't so clear on the timeline of this. I mean, maybe you got until tomorrow, maybe it's today, but either way, he's probably heard about your farm burning down, so maybe he's not even expecting you to come. And I think that maybe he would give you some leeway for being a bit late, even if, you were supposed to be there today. I don't know. Royals tend to not care about that sort of thing. What do you mean not care about that sort of thing? They want what they want. And they don't care if outside factors don't allow for it to happen. Well, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't really know.
Well, I mean, either way, you're not going to be able to get into the city, to the castle town. There's no way.
So are you going to sleep in the carriage?
I'm getting there, Tavumile.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. There's a nearby town. There's an inn there that I've stayed in before. We can spend the night there, and I'll stay there with you and go home in the morning after we drop you off at the castle town gates.
What's it called?
The Woodcutter's Arms.
Oh, that's not as cute as the little daisy. The Woodcutter's
Arms. Would you like to go back? Yes, the Woodcutter. Have you heard of it before, lass?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been all up and down this area.
Well, then you'll be familiar with the lay of the land, I suppose. It's a nice place. I've stayed there a time or two myself, and I think that will be suitable for us. So we're headed there. I mean, it's in the same direction as the castle town, so unless anybody else has got a better idea.
No. I would like to stay at the Little Daisy at some point. I've never stayed at an inn before. Never? No. I have a house. Well,
You're
I had a house.
About to stay at an inn, Tavumile.
That's exciting. But
you wanted to have a cuter name.
Well, I mean, no. I think that this name is fine, but I would like to stay at the Little Daisy just because I do think it's a cute name. Maybe we could stay there on the way back. Well, honey, I mean, it's close to the town. So on our... Well, actually, we may not even go back to the town, considering...
Yes, I was going to say,
hey.
To where would we be going back?
I wasn't really thinking about that. I was like, we'll go back to Meredith's orphanage. Well, nope.
Maybe we won't.
Maybe we could stay at the Little Daisy then. Well, maybe we just stay in the castle town. Well, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. We'll just put it that way.
I think perhaps Lucian will send another message.
Oh, God.
I mean, I don't know if it would be today. I don't know how many times he can do that.
I'll have my hackles raised. That was absolutely horrible. Why was it horrible? Well, you are thinking your own thoughts and then all of a sudden somebody else is speaking in your mind. And it's quite loud. You don't realize that your normal speaking voice is incredibly loud when it's amplified in somebody's brain. Oh, I didn't realize that. I can do message. And Lucian doesn't like it when I do it to him. Well, that doesn't look just because it's loud. No, he says that he doesn't like me being in his head. Or has he ever explained why? No, he's just asked me not to do it. All right. He's kind of a interesting fella. Oh, I think he's really interesting. Well, honey, that's because you're in love with him.
I don't have any Lucian slander in this carriage.
Hey, that was a slander. I said he's interesting.
I'm just saying, you better watch yourself.
Oh, I better watch myself. What you gonna do, huh?
Oh, is it going to come to blows? Well, I'll have you know.
Ooh, oh, what? You'll have me know what?
Well, I learned a trick or two in the war myself.
Oh, I learned hand-to-hand combat, and I'm amazing at it. I'm better at it than weapon combat. And you want to know why? This is another story. I was not liked during the war, believe it or not. I had a lot of folks not liking me because, I wouldn't just kind of hide behind all the people fighting and stuff like that and then wait to heal them. I would try to help them out. And, I was a good medic. That's for sure. I was a damn good medic. And, people didn't know that yet because I had just joined the platoon.
Roll a Constitution save.
Good Lord. All right. 15.
When you say that, flashing in front of your eyes is the limp body that you're still holding up and still trying to save of someone. Mm-hmm. It's hard to tell who it is. But as you say that, your hands kind of, you're kind of palming their clothing, grabbing a hold of it, kind of shaking them as they kind of just limply flop in your arms. And that passes for a second and then goes away.
All right. And I was a damn good medic, so, but they didn't know that yet. So, they didn't like me that much because they thought that I was going to get them all killed because, I wasn't like the other medics. But also because, I'm half and a woman, which I was the only half person there and the only woman. And they were kind of, prejudiced against that for their own personal reasons. I'm sure it varied per person. But there was this fella. His name was Theriot. And, I don't know what happened to him, but honestly, I could say I don't truly care. He didn't like me at all. There was a guy that was, I guess, his cousin, who, one of the first missions that I went out, I was around him and he ended up dying. Sometimes it just happens. There ain't nothing you could do about it. But he blamed me for it because he couldn't take, the thought of that happening. So he always had it out for me. And one day he decided that during a mission, when we were out in the field, that he was going to strip me of my weapons and, leave me there to fend for myself, thinking I wasn't going to make it back. Easiest way to get rid of me, And, safe to say that didn't happen. I show back up and I raise all hell. I give him what for, I'm on him, I find him. It's late at night. Way past everybody's already there. I find him standing just outside the medical tent and I tackle him to the ground. And, after that, I decided I wasn't ever going to be caught off guard again. And I got real good at hand-to-hand combat, just in case.
What happened to him?
I don't know. I mean, I was real hurt when I got back. And my commanding officer made me go to the medical tent. And against my own wishes, obviously what I wanted didn't matter. Never did. And I was there, but he was also going to be there. And my commanding officer stayed up all night to make sure that nobody, did away with him. Then the next morning when I woke up, he was gone. So, I mean, he for sure was discharged, but I ain't sure in what capacity he was discharged. What do you mean, in what capacity? Well, like, whether or not he was just discharged, whether or not he was jailed, what happened. That's, intense.
Sounds quite...
it's fine.
Bumry, are you alright? What happened to you?
She's gonna, look around.
Take her to the tent.
No, I ain't going.
Where is he?
No, I ain't going. Where's Theory? Where is he?
You're going.
No. I think that she looks up, looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
Did she see him?
You roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 10.
You look up and you see around you. You see the carriage. You see the people in it looking at you now with an expression that you can't read because you're busy. But you don't. Every feeling you have in your body is of. You can feel where you were hurt. You can feel the chill of the night is pitch black where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel yourself lumbering forward, being kind of half held up and half held back by the soldiers at your side as Vatil approaches you from the side and stares at you with a mixture of relief and complete shock at your state and your behavior.
Where is he? Huh?
Where's who? What happened to you?
She's looking around, she's keeps walking forward.
Tell me what happened to you.
Theory, wherever the hell he must be. She's raising her voice, trying to call out to get him to come out. Decided it would be, I don't know, funny, an easy way to get rid of me if he stripped me of my weapons. So where is he?
Calm down.
Huh?
Do as I've said, it's calm down.
You think that I'm gonna calm
I'm
down?
gonna find out what's going on.
I know what's going on. I know what's going on. I know.
Take her to the tent.
No, I ain't going.
You feel arms cross across your chest and start pulling you backwards.
Absolutely fighting against
Roll,
it.
Athletics.
22.
Good gravy. You are full of friggin' piss and vinegar. You are full of rage, and you can feel as their arms kind of pull in front of you. Every cell in your body is propelling you forwards towards Vatil.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see him kind of looking at you he's trying. He's looking at you like he's not sure what he's looking at. He's not sure if he's looking at you or something else. Mm-hmm. He's not. There's a way. There's sort of a peculiar way that he looks at you that you've noticed. You two kind of have a rapport.
Okay.
Because of your shared. He grew up as an orc. Shared peculiarities, if you will, between you. But that's gone. He's looking at you kind of like a stranger.
Okay. Can she make a perception check to see if she can see Theria standing anywhere at all? 17.
You see him out of the corner of your eye come out of somebody else's, tent.
Oh, there you are. And she's going to turn and sprint towards him.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Since you're injured, go ahead and roll a disadvantage. You're losing it. Okay, roll straight. Roll a athletics check.
Okay. 16.
Okay. The moment you take a step forward, you can feel yourself being released from these two people who are holding on to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel yourself, you're like wrenching yourself free from their grip, and you can hear your clothes tearing in their arms as they try and pull you back. And the moment just as soon as you feel a cold slip of air between you and them, you're come away from them and into freedom, you feel your body slam against the hard, solid object that is Vatil's entire body.
Okay.
He slams into you and wraps both arms around you, like your body, and pulls you down to his level. Now, I'm not going to say this again. You get yourself there, or I'm taking you. I'm going to find out what's going on.
I told you what's going on.
All right, let's go. And he's like fighting against you, and he just starts pulling you in the direction of the medical tent.
Okay, I think that she's absolutely like fighting against it.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to give it one more shot?
Yeah.
One more shot of freedom?
18.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
As you walk in, he starts pulling you in that direction. You can feel their arms like enclosing around you, pulling you towards the medical tent. Mm-hmm. You wait for the split second that they all kind of try and understand how they're going to cooperate to take you there. Mm-hmm. And as their arms for a second loosen, you slip forward out of their grasp. Uh-huh. You take 2 steps forward and you hear Vatil's voice thunder behind you. Bomri!
She doesn't listen.
You just keep blasting off in that direction.
Yeah.
What do you do to this guy when you get there?
Oh, she freaking wails on. She tackles him to the ground and is like, like punching him in the face and freaking like tearing at his clothes and like pulling his hair out, just wailing on him. Yeah, just
and go full Tasmanian devil. And you see that in front of you. You see the whole thing playing out in front of you. You see him literally like your fingernails. You can feel his skin underneath your fingernails. You can feel it's dark and it's boiling hot. Like you're so hot and he's Summer Eladrin. He's hot. It's so, in your clothes. You've been walking all night injured. You can feel just wetness from blood and spit, flecks in the air. As you lay into him, and you feel eventually hands on you pulling you guys apart, but not until he is completely just in tatters in front of you. And as you get your satisfaction, you achieve your desired goal of taking him apart, and you see that in front of you, you feel a hand on your hand. Iffy.
What?
You're right.
Hey, I'm fine. Are you sure? What?
I'm not so sure that we should talk about that anymore.
What you talking about?
It's nothing. Thalen looks at Tavumile.
Can she roll insight?
Yeah. You want to roll with disadvantage?
As Tavumile?
Yeah. Do you think that she would roll with what do you think?
I don't think that she would roll with disadvantage. She has a +0, so it's really...
So it's not looking good.
Oh, shit. 17.
Oh, snap. What passes from Thalen to Tavumile is... something is going on that you don't understand, and you need to stay out of it.
I think that Tavumile's brow kind of furrows, and then she just, smiles at Iffy. And Iffy's like, all right, is there something that I said that I mean, I understand, war stories making people uncomfortable, but y'all could just tell me.
Well, no, it's not like that. Just, you sort of...
He went away. Went away. It feels like you stopped realizing you were here.
Good roll, perception check is Tavumile.
Okay. 12.
When Iffy talks, when Yezi talks, I imagine Iffy turns to look at her.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you do that, Thalen, disclaimer, we can veto this if you don't like it, but you might. Thalen is going to kind of covertly rub his shoulder at Tavumile and mouth, "Are you okay?"
To Tavumile?
Yeah.
Oh, was Iffy like gripping on her shoulder?
My thinking was that Tavumile like reached out to be like touch her to be like, "Are you okay?" And she like went like that because she was.
I think that Tavumile just kind of like pats her arm and like nods her head and smiles.
Okay, we're gonna roll because covertly he would want to do that. So we can roll against Iffy's perception to see if she notices.
12.
You freaking. The moment you turn your head, Thalen does it while you're still like turning your head to look at Yezi, and so you see like all of what he does. It's like you go to turn your head and notice that he started moving, and he's not looking at you anymore. Now he's looking at Tavumile to like get her reaction. And so as you turn your head, you see him do that.
Iffy sees that, like, she's like going to turn to look at Yezi, and then sees that and like immediately turns back to look at Thalen, and she's like, "All right, what? Did the story scare you, Tavumile?
You hit her."
What? But it's fine. It is.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. What do you mean I hit her? Iffy, you you've done this quite a few times.
Yes.
What? If she's not aware of it, then nobody's ever told her. Am I not aware of what? God damn. We're just gonna keep being vague about it. I mean, y'all have already exposed yourself to something happening. Look, I don't know what it is, but it's like you don't realize that you're here. And you did that. You just stopped talking and stared off into the distance, and then Tavumile tried to, touch you to ask if you are right, yeah. And you whipped your hand out and hit her. Or is this some kind of elaborate joke?
Oh, do you think that we would do something like that? Oh, it's no joke, lass. Be careful.
Be careful? What am I meant to be careful about? I have no idea what y'all talking about. It's alright, really. So we're going to stay at the... what was the name of it again?
The Woodcutter's Arms.
I feel like if he kind of just like looks around at everyone and just like shakes her head and like looks down at her feet, like trying to even imagine what they're talking about.
Yes. I think that...
How much longer are we away from it?
Oh, we're not far now. Shouldn't be much longer. An hour or so.
Alright, well that's good.
Yes, I think we can all have a rest then.
Well, I'm rather tired. Which is funny because we've just been sitting really for this whole time.
Oh, Tavumile, well, travelling like this in a carriage, even if you're sitting down the whole time, it can get knackered. We used to have, in the going from place to place. By the time you get there, you're exhausted just from sitting in the carriage. Like, he's, like, regained his whatever.
I think that Yezi is kind of just looking at Iffy. Like, just kind of watching her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Iffy's not looking at anyone. She's just like, what are they talking about kind of situation, you know?
Are you trying to... What were you going to say? I was going to say, is she trying to figure out... What does that look like? Is she trying to think, like, put herself in, like, think about something to see how it feels, or is she just trying to think of, has anyone ever told me this has happened before? Like,
I think that she's trying to think about if anyone has ever indicated to her that this has happened before, or, like, any kind of, like, idea of what they might even, because I think that she's like, I have no idea.
What are they talking about? Yeah. Do you want to roll a history check?
Yeah. 16.
You have not hung out with people consistently for since the war ended, basically. And you remember when you were leaving the hospital after they, to the best of their ability, patch you up. Not the medical attendant, not that. You were.
Oh, after what happened to her face?
Yeah, okay. After she was discharged for that. She went to a proper hospital, at Talenthi side of the border. Yeah. You're not, like, on the front lines or anything, hacksaw friggin' medics with friggin', whatever. You're at a proper hospital. It was stacked with injured soldiers, but still. Some doctor, up for 24 straight years smoking a cigarette, telling you that you might have some residual effects, saying, well, you might have, headaches, and you might have, eye might hurt.
Yeah, well, if you use greater restoration on me, then I wouldn't have none of this.
Well, you were past that point when you came to us last, so...
It's past that point.
Yeah, you were... when you got here so long ago, I don't recall...
3 days.
Right. You seem like look down at your paper and look back up at you and say, can you just let me finish so you can leave? You like your stay here so much that you want to keep John with me?
Well, I don't understand why y'all are discharging me. I mean, you could have just fixed me, but you ain't gonna do that. You've done it the entire war. Every time that something's happened to me, just been fixed.
He's gonna, like, look up at the nurse and whisper something to her, and she kind of whispers something back at him. If you want to perceive it, you can. Okay.
Newly disadvantaged. 19.
You hear him say, was this the difficult one?
The difficult one?
Oh, well, you see her kind of, like, she, like, looks at him and, like, looks at you and kind of, like, nods and, like, apologetically in your direction. Look, we just let me finish the paper. You're not going to get anywhere as what's done is done, as they say.
Well, I just want an explanation as to why I ain't get fixed.
You got fixed to the best of our ability.
Best of your ability. If you want
to file a complaint, you can get in line. Now, you might have... stack my papers. Mm-hmm. You might have earaches. And you might have flashbacks. You might have...
Flashbacks?
Visual, audio hallucination. It's all, standard sort of head injury stuff. And I mean, you've got a laundry list of injuries, I'd say. Quite,
Hey.
So, any questions? No?
I guess not. Not like you're gonna answer them anyways.
Well, alright, you're discharged. And he, like, looks at you, looks at the nurse, like, nods and, like, stands up. And
so what am I supposed to do now?
Leave.
That's it? Y'all ain't got nothing to... I don't got nowhere to go.
Sweetheart, this is just a hospital.
There ain't nothing that set up for people who get discharged. Ain't nothing to help them out.
Not this many. And
I think that she like looks around her and looks at everyone that's here.
Mm-hmm. I think she's kind of like, you get the vibe that she's like, settle down, you know, she's like, yes, whatever, hospital. And she's gonna look up at you and be like, so hopefully
I figure it out.
I'm sorry.
Why, it ain't your fault. All right. Y'all have a nice day. I feel like she like turns and walks away.
Mm-hmm. And while you're doing that, Thalen, Yezi, and Tavumile see Iffy. All you're doing right now is staring at your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And Thalen's gonna say, well, suppose we'll get to the inn and have something to eat. And I just go to sleep. I mean, what is there to do but wait until the morning? We'll have to redo our disguises. Oh. I'm not sleeping in this.
Oh, is anyone good at disguises?
Oh, well, if Ithiel, etc. are on their way.
You think they're gonna make it on their way? I think that she kind of like lifts her head a little bit. You think that they're gonna make it there by the time that we need to leave?
I don't know, probably not. Well, forget that then. I suppose we have to sleep in them.
You'll be a bit uncomfortable, Thalen, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm not used to this sort of thing.
I'm not either.
We're going to Pout.
Pout?
Yes.
My mum says that pouting isn't good for anything.
It's not, but it's fun.
Is it fun? I don't think I've ever done it before.
I'll show you how. And he's like, he just like crosses his arm, like sticks out his lower lip, like that sort of thing. And then you just sort of complain about everything.
Right. She crosses her arm, sticks her lower lip out. I'm hungry.
Me too.
And, I miss Lucian.
I suppose I hope he's all right.
Oh, not a me too.
I don't know. Am I meant to? Do I have to?
I think it would be nice if you miss Lucian.
I don't know, maybe if you didn't.
I miss Fingers. Yes, he kind of looks at her. Me too. And I miss Ethiot. Although I don't really know Ethiot all that well. But even though I don't know him that well, I do miss him.
I'm sure we'll see them soon.
I hope so. That would be really nice. They will be here. I'll make sure of it. How are you going to make sure of it? Well, if they don't arrive when they should, I will find out what happened.
He'll be fine.
When should they arrive? Probably sometime tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, if they're going by foot, could be quite a while. And the guards are stopping everyone going through, so that might put a wrench in their plans. But it's just the two of them. That's what they said. If you're not going on the path, then they wouldn't be able to stop you.
Well, I imagine, I don't know, I suppose it'd be they're on foot. We'll figure it out. All we can do for now is wait.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty good at waiting. Crops take a while to grow. Does that make you good at waiting? You don't do other stuff in between when you plant them and then when they grow? Oh, I guess I do other stuff.
Well, you've been doing other stuff, talking, that sort of thing.
That's true. I really like it. I really like talking to you guys. I'm glad that I have friends now. I never used to have friends except for Lucian. There's not really anyone that lives near me. Oh, Cynthia, you're my friend too.
I was going to be sad.
No.
You've forgotten about me, lass.
No, you're more like my mum.
Cynthia, shrugs his shoulders.
What, you mean like he's like a parental figure? Mm-hmm.
He's like a dad, one might say.
No.
All right. Well, I can understand that. I mean, it's I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Happier circumstances would be preferable, but anyway.
I'm glad that we've all met. It's really nice. And it's really nice too because, well, this is kind of a hard time for me. Hard to deal with. And I'm really glad that I don't have to deal with it on my own. Well, you certainly have been dealing with it well. You don't seem worried at all. I am. I think that. Do you know, when you have apples and oranges and you put them in a basket during the summer so that you can eat it whenever you want without having to go looking for them? And me and my mum,
I hide my apples and oranges.
Really?
No, please continue.
Oh, all right. Me and my mum, we would leave our basket on the kitchen table, and during the summer, there's a window that at some point during the day, it lets all the sunlight in. And we like to keep our windows open, like the curtains and all that, because the sunlight's really nice and it kind of warms the house and, makes the flowers on the windowsill smell really nice because they're nice and warm. And so the sunlight would come through the window and it would sit on the table, like the light that was coming through, and it would sit on the apples and oranges and warm them up. And Lucian always hated that because he didn't want to eat, he said, a hot apple. He said that he likes apples and that he wants them to be room temperature. And I said that they were, and he said not to him, which I guess they wouldn't to be because they're kind of warm.
I've got to hold them in my hands for quite a while, cool them down.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they're not that warm.
Yes, they are. To have skin burn your mouth.
She picks one up. What do you mean?
They're not hot to you, mate.
Are they really hot to you?
They're hot. It's all hot to me. This is hot.
It's
he
not.
He takes it and presses it into her arm. That's hot.
It's not hot. They're a bit warm. They've been sitting in the sun.
They're all the way through.
All the way through?
Yeah. I'm going to take them and put it in a corner or something.
In the corner?
In the darkness.
Oh, keep the basket. I thought you meant the apple was in trouble.
He puts a hand over his face.
Put the apple in time out.
Yeah, because it's too hot. We'll have it later, I guess.
Well, if you hold it in your hand, wouldn't that cool it down?
Yeah, but not all the way through.
Or you could cut it up. I could cut it up for you.
Well, I guess. I don't know.
Do you want me to?
No, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Apples are really nice. I like cutting them up, and then I like cutting the skin off. I don't really like the skin that much.
That's the best part. That's all the nutrients are, after all.
Does the inside not have any nutrients?
It's got fibre on the outside, so you don't want to get rid of that.
Why do I need fibre? I don't know what that is. Well, is it fibre like what my clothes are made out of?
Oh, sort of. he's gonna like take the apple, and he'd say, "Oh, Kutu, knowing you, it's trying to make me work on my day off."
What do you mean?
Cut your finger off, something like that.
I didn't cut my finger off.
Neither way.
Mum gives me the safety knives.
Safety knives.
They're made out of wood.
How does it cut anything? He like takes one out of the block or something and starts cutting it.
See, it works really well.
He takes a metal knife. He takes a real knife out of the knife block. Do you want some?
An apple?
Yeah. Bring me one.
Oh, all right.
This one's mine, Tav. Don't be greedy.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to share.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm eating your apples.
Well, they're not mine.
Whose are they?
Mrs. Ansley brought them over as a thank you to my mum. I don't know what my mum did for her, but...
I think they're legally yours now.
Legally?
Like, they...
Are you going to get in trouble?
He just like starts like shuts his eyes and you hear him go, "Oh." He looks
Did you
down.
cut yourself?
Oh goodness.
You need the safety knife.
No, guess so. He like puts his hand like in his other hand's like squeezing it. It's not like bad, it's just like a single drip.
Can I see it?
Why?
Well, because you cut yourself. Lucian.
What?
Can I see it?
It's fine, Tav.
Here. She like sticks her hands out to like be like, give me your hand.
I've got quite a lot of experience dealing with this sort of thing.
Lucian.
What?
Can I see it, please? I'm asking nicely.
Sure. He like sticks his hand out.
She like her like thumbs are in the palm of his hand and like her fingers are on the back of it. She brings it close and she's like, "This always makes me feel better." And she kisses the like finger that's cut.
He pulls his hand away. What on earth are you doing?
Did that hurt? I'm sorry.
No.
My mum will do that. If I cut myself, it always makes it feel better. And then she puts a band-aid on it.
You really are a little girl still.
What do you mean?
He's like looking around for a piece of fabric or something like that. He like reaches his pocket, takes out like a handkerchief and puts it around his finger. Yeah, it's fine. It'll stop in a minute.
All right.
That one can be yours.
The bloody apple.
It's all bloody. I'm not so clumsy. Well, I guess I can't say that, can I?
I'll cut the other one.
No.
Why?
I want us to be matching pair.
I will be paying attention. Here, I'll get my safety knives.
You're going then. I won't distract you.
All right. She like goes and gets one of the like wood ones, and they're like sharp. It's not really a safety knife. I think that her mom is just like, I don't know, maybe they'll cut her less bad.
Duller.
And she like
your mom's like cutting like a cow heads.
Yeah.
Like butchering like the maguro tuna head. And she's like, "This will cut your arm off."
And I think that Tavumile starts cutting the apple, and it works fine. And she's just like, "See, I told you it works well."
You've not cut yourself either.
No.
That's good. Come on then, give us a piece. Keep it all to yourself.
She like sticks out an apple up to his like face.
He like rolls his eyes and takes it in his hand, and, like puts it in his mouth.
Is it too hot?
That's alright.
You like baked apples?
I like them when they're cooled down.
Well, but even cooled down a little bit, wouldn't they be this warm? These really aren't that hot at all.
It's different, mate. It's a different food.
How's a different food?
It's like saying a fruits are meant to be cold.
Are they?
Yeah.
I like it when, out in the fields, when a fruit like strawberries, when they grow and I'm harvesting them, sometimes I'll eat them when I'm doing that, and they're warm from the sun, and it's really nice.
That sounds awful.
It's not, because it reminds me that I grew it.
I can see why that would be nice, but...
And they're nice and soft too, and sweet, because they've been sitting out in the sun.
Yeah, well, I can see that. I used to, in the winter, you can't get fruit, really.
Apples are a winter fruit, because you can store them really well.
Well, I mean, not other fruit. Take apples and put them out in the snow. The thing about that is that they get so hard, you can't eat them.
Really?
Yeah.
Like they freeze?
It's a delicate balance. It's got to not be frozen, but it's got to be cold at least.
You know what I want?
Well,
persimmon. I've only ever had it the once when we went into the village. It was really good. And it was really good too because it was sitting out in the sun on their cart and it was warm.
You made a right mess of yourself.
I didn't mean to. I think because it was sitting out in the sun that I had a lot of juice in it. But that made it even better because it was more.
I wish I could have a piece.
Of a persimmon?
Yeah, would have had to lick it off the ground.
Well, I offered you some.
It's slime in your hands.
You could have still had some. It's about the flavour.
Well, I guess we'll just have to go back to the village.
Really? That would be lovely. I haven't gone in a while.
We go today, if you want.
Do you have time?
Not really, but whatever. We'll make it work.
I hope that they have persimmons.
We'll find something for you. Something slimy and
messy.
Take you home and your mum thinks we... What on earth happened to Tavumile? She ate a piece of fruit. It's just the carnage that results.
It's nice.
Well, let's go then.
All right.
Kiriti.
But the sunlight would make them warm, and because they were warm and they were sitting next to each other, sometimes the apples would taste like the oranges. And, well, I think that they're kind of like my emotions. What? Like, the oranges are my sadness, and the apples are excitement and happiness and love and all of that. Now I could still eat an apple and it's going to taste like an apple, but it's going to be a little bit of the orange flavour. And I think that's how I feel right now. I'm glad to be talking to you all, and I'm glad that I found Lucian, and I'm glad that he loves me. But I still am worried about my mum, and I'm really sad about it. And so everything just tastes a little bit like an orange. But that's alright. Because eventually it won't be summer anymore. They won't be warm. And then I'll just have apples. Because apples store really well. Oranges don't. Well, honey, I think that's real sweet.
I can see why.
You can see why what?
He, looks at Yezi. Says... I thought of them an odd pair, but...
Well, I'm sure people would think me and Fingers are an odd pair.
I suppose.
Oh, do you mean you can see why Lucia loves me?
I'd guess that's what I mean. Either way, we'll get you there and we'll find out what's going on. You've not got to be concerned. Maybe your apples will go back to tasting like apples sooner than you think.
That would be lovely. My mum would make a really nice dessert during the winter. It was baked apples, and she would core an apple and put it in the oven with cinnamon and some brown sugar, and then let it bake until it was soft. It was really good. It was one of Lucian's favourites. It's one of my favourites too. And whenever my mum would make them, she would always make extra, just so that Lucian could have a bit more.
Well.
You know, my parents sell spiced apple buns during the winter. What? Why are you laughing about that?
I don't know.
Similar, ain't it?
Suppose. It's an odd exclamation.
Why? Oh, my parents own a bakery. They're bakers.
Are they in the Tidgeworth clan?
Not anymore. They're near the border, but they're on the Talenthi side.
Well, maybe our journey will take us there as well, and we can try some.
Probably not.
All right. Well,
I would like to go there. Maybe like another day. You know.
But why don't we go to Yezi's hometown while we're at it, and then we can...
that would be
Mine doesn't exist anymore, so.
I think that Yezi looks at him. I think Yezi would know about. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, like.
She would for sure know.
Are you from Heredia? What? You're from
Who's asking?
France?
I might be.
I'm sorry.
If there's a thing on this earth I don't want to talk about.
Alright. Y'all want to hear another cheap joke? Oh, I do.
And you keep telling cheap jokes all the way to the woodcutter's arms. As you continue on your way, another set of folks are continuing on their way.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to get a little bit dark. There's a few hours left in their journey. I think when they first set off, there was 3, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So, same basic time frame. And Ethiad is presumably still sitting on top of the carriage.
Yes.
Fingers is asleep with, just pancake mode on top of the carriage roof. Like, most body contact is possible.
Ethiad has, hands, he's, grabbing the corner of Fingers' shirt to be like, if you fall off of this.
And Fingers is you can hear him, every once in a while just be like, so you know that he's asleep.
Alive.
Alive, yeah. And, every time that Atticus hits a bump, you hear him go, oh! Hits his head on the top of the carriage. And you hear not only that, but you also hear Lucian at the back of the carriage go, oh. Life is good for our boys. And you're sitting there. What are you kind of thinking about? What's going through your head?
I think he's thinking about sleeping in a tavern and being like, I have not done that in quite a while. They're expensive, and I do not have that much money. And I think that he is kind of counting up the money that he has, and he's like, I've been saving for quite a while, so if we do have to pay, it'll be fine. That 16 gold.
Ethiad's doing some quick math.
Yeah.
What's Finch doing? Is he like...
He's freaking knocked the heck out.
I was gonna say he's like snoring.
He's got like a milk mustache just like dried on his upper lip. And he's just...
The most snoring that has ever snored. And your dad is like next. You would be asleep to not be able to hear this, but Ethiad, you hear no sounds from the front, just like general traveling noises. Every once in a while, you can kind of hear Meredith from inside the carriage go, "We're gonna be there soon. I promise we're gonna be there soon. But I want to go out of that. No, you gotta sit there. You can't get up. No, it's okay though. Look, you want bread? Hey, Ethiad."
Oh yeah, he like takes off some of it. You go and you just see a little hand at the top of the thing.
"Thanks, kiddo," and she like grabs the bread from you. As you do that, go ahead, roll a what? Roll a dex check.
19.
You expertly maintain Finger's current position with your hand on his shoulder as you like reach over the other side to
big
give
wingspan,
to give Meredith the bread. And as you lean in that direction, you hear Lucian kind of like chuckle.
What?
Whoa.
Why are you laughing? He like, Ethia kind of looks down at him from the top of the carriage.
I was thinking about something.
Okay. Like slowly brings his head back.
As you kind of like go back to sit, whatever you're doing before you hear the sounds of pacified children coming from underneath you. You feel all of a sudden a moment of weightlessness and then hard impact as Atticus hits another bump. And you hear from like freaking Finger's head bounce off the roof, and he's like, "All right, I give up." And you hear Lucian go, "Glow." Wow, who was that? It was Vatil. You hear him also make it from the back of the carriage, a sound of uncomfort. He just like hits the thing, and he's just like, "Oh my goodness." I've got to say.
Atticus?
Yes.
Could you maybe be a little more careful with the holes in the road?
It was Lemon, right?
No.
I would like to direct your attention to in front of you.
Okay. He like looks forward.
Yeah, and you look out in front of you on this like rocky, mountainous like pathway, and it all becomes clear to you.
Oh. Well, you're actually doing a great job. Thank you so much for this ride. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's also Lemmet.
What?
My name.
I don't want to talk too loud and wake up my son.
Never mind.
You hear Lucy go, "Look, I've got to say, I appreciate it, of course, the ride and all, but if this lovely gentleman hits one more bump, I'm going to show him a trick or two I learnt in the army, that's for sure."
Hey, Lucian.
What?
Hey,
what?
Ralph?
We're not going to make it, mate. We're not making it. You're not going to make it.
Maybe not.
How many times?
I don't know. I'm used to being alone, so that's my excuse. Shut up. That was what I was going to say.
Are you going to tell me to shut up?
Yes.
Lucian's like, kind of like laying on the back of the carriage, like still like where he was before with his arms crossed. Oh, he's kind of like holding on to the back to make sure that he's chill. And he's gonna say, "Well, I guess it's not gonna be long now till we get there."
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he said 3 hours. I've been asleep for I imagine we would get there soon at this point.
It's been like, what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, something like that. Well, we'll get there when we get there, right, kids? All right, I tried. Hey, let's think about other things than how long it's going to take till we get there. And she's like, starts friggin' entertaining them in some other kind of way.
Atticus.
Yes. You're kind of like, it would be hard, this is a carriage, right? It would be hard for him to hear you if you weren't talking to him, in the same way that it would be hard for Lucian to hear you if you weren't talking to him.
Yeah.
And you're on the roof, so you kind of have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But Lucian and Atticus can't, hear each other.
Yeah. You run it, the little Daisy. Who else is there? Just you and Finch?
Well, it's me and my wife, Adeline.
Okay, married.
Adeline Green. And our sons, Jack and August Green.
Good.
And of course, Finch here.
Right. Good to know that you all have the same last name.
Well, wouldn't you expect that? He goes back, driving.
I think that Ethia kind of looks at Fingers like...
I don't know, man. People, am I right? Anyway. Yes, well, there's been quite a lot of commotion recently because of, aforementioned events. So,
commotion? What do you mean?
Well, all of the Talenthi soldiers going through the tavern. They were setting up a checkpoint outside of the little Daisy when I left with, as I told you, he had to beg me to come into town with him. So
checkpoint? What does that mean?
What? What did he say?
Hold on. What do you mean checkpoint? Outside of the tavern?
Well, not directly outside of the tavern. There's a mountain road that leads from the Little Daisy to the Talenthi Castle Town, and there's a gate there that is not typically manned by guards, but they're, to my knowledge, checking every single carriage that passes through that area for the man who burnt down that farmhouse.
Oh. Well, do you have guards staying at your tavern now?
Oh, yes. It's not so many, but there've been a few through to check on our patrons.
Oh.
So.
To make sure that the guy isn't staying there?
Well, they've questioned my wife, and I'll have you say, that's not... I don't think very highly of that. Certainly not.
Oh, really? Really?
Well,
what do you think about the situation? Like, what's going on and all of that?
Well, I understand their fear, dangerous criminal on the loose.
Right.
I think that it makes sense. I think that I don't know, they seem to be going a bit overboard, especially since there have been no repeat crimes, but
right.
Better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. So you've been, cooperative and stuff.
Well, of course.
Right.
Ethiel, what is going on?
Thank you for letting us go there. If you excuse me for just a second.
Well, I've got to say, and if you're concerned about going through the checkpoint, don't be. I had to go through myself, and I know one of the guards, and I have to say, he's quite a character.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And if that's the guard that you're dealing with when you go through, you'll be right as rain, I can assure you.
Well, that's good. Do we go through the checkpoint before we get to your tavern?
Oh, no.
All right.
But if you're leaving tomorrow, I imagine it will still be there. And
right. Yeah.
When you go through, I just want you to know, you have nothing to fear.
So that's good.
Just the other day, old Frungit was at the tavern, and he was telling me about how he used to make outfits for little bugs.
What?
Like I said, He's quite a character.
Right. Excuse me for just 1 second.
Hey, guys.
I think Ethiad, like, goes to the edge of the carriage and literally drops down to, like, where Lucian is.
Onto Lucian?
No, he's, like, holding on to the, like, edge of the thing and is, like, finding a place for his feet to go so that he's, like, feet down but hands holding on to the edge of it.
What is
So,
going on? Hey, Atticus? Atticus Green.
Hey, Atticus.
Hey, Atticus, I'm gonna make love to your wife.
Fingers.
She's gonna find out why they call. I can't say that.
What? Why they call you fingers?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
See, I would never say that. Mish, what have we talked about with your potty mouth? Look, it's a layup. What can I say? Cool. So he can't hear us. The thing about this is, will you figure it out? What is going on?
There's guards staying at the tavern because they're checking the patrons to make sure that you aren't there. And there is a checkpoint set up at the gate, the initial gate. I don't know where they're checking everyone who goes through. They've questioned his wife about you, and there's guards staying at the tavern. So, I think that maybe we shouldn't stay there.
No. That makes no sense.
What do you mean it makes no sense?
I think I ought not to stay
there. And be off on your own?
Yes, I don't want to.
Okay,
I mean,
here.
I imagine
this is what will happen, right? Fingers, you stay with Meredith and the kids, right? And me and Lucian will.
Like heck, man. You're crazy.
Nobody's looking for you. The guy, like, the guards aren't looking for you. And I know that they're not looking for me, but...
Look, man, you can't fight worth anything, and you're hurt.
I was able to hold my own.
It was... Well, I think it might be quite odd if all of a sudden we rescind our request to stay there now.
Right.
He might insist on it. I mean, look, mate, I promised to fix his son's broken arm in the morning.
What if he knew everything? I mean, he said he was being cooperative, so I don't know if maybe that would be a good idea, but...
Well, who I am and...
Yeah, the whole story.
I think I just ought not... I guess that's not an option. I'm not sure. I mean... If it was, problem solved, no. But if he's not...
If he's not what?
Cooperative.
Oh.
Or, I mean,
well,
if he's cooperative with the guards...
Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, what we tell him now? Before there's any guards around.
Do you mean, what I think you mean?
No!
Sorry.
I mean, like,
I was really surprised.
No.
We're not gonna do that sort of thing.
I mean, like, we could get away. Leave.
could we? I don't know how we could do that unless we take a carriage. Make him and his son walk back. I wouldn't want to do that. It's dangerous. Steal all their supplies.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I don't know.
I think that we play it by ear.
Okay.
We go there and we see how it is. I mean, if the place is crawling with guards, looking us up and down. I don't know, mate. Everybody walks in, it gets us all settled, and I sneak out the back door.
Right. Can I try to make your disguise a bit better?
What, right now?
No time like the present, I guess.
I don't know that's going to work. Lucian's like looking like. So the situation is this. So Meredith was kind of in your same situation because he's inside the carriage, so she can hear Atticus. There's like, it's not a passenger carriage, so it's not like there's a window between him and the box where the supplies are. I've never ridden in a carriage, but this is the way it's gonna be. This is a world of my own invention. But she can hear him through the wood talking, and then there's a door, and then there's Lucian kind of like laying horizontally on where you step onto the carriage.
Here, fingers. I think Ethiad like kind of gets back up on the roof, and he lays down on his like stomach, and he inches like over to where his like hips are like at the edge of the like carriage. He's like, hold down on my legs, or sit on my legs, do something.
What?
Just sit on my legs, do it.
Okay. And Fingers is gonna like lay his body like fully horizontal against your legs.
All right. And Ethiad's looking down. He's like, who wants to sit on the roof? Sorry, Meredith.
What?
Just
Nobody. Everybody sit down. And she just like starts pointing as every kid gets so excited.
Meredith, I need to just briefly sit in the carriage so I can fix something.
Just sit on my lap, kid. I don't know. Listen, look, you're not going to sit on the kids.
I'm going to take one out, put it up with fingers, and then I can sit in there.
Ethiad, brown, lamination. If you think one of my kids is going up on the roof,
One of them is.
Excuse me?
I said one of them is.
Oh, you're talking about me? One of my child kids, not my adult kids.
Could one of them sit on Sana or Leela's laps?
Okay, then they gotta get out, walk around to the front. Look, I'm trying to be quiet, and as it is, I got kid, in the bag, calling you Lucian and crap. I'm trying to play whack-a-mole, and now you got me doing all this business. Look, kiddo, it is what it is. Just get in here and try not to step on any toes. She's like piling children into her lap.
Okay. He's gonna like get off of me, like look at Fingers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He's just gonna like get off. You kind of like, you see Lucian is like looking up at Fingers and whatever.
Ethiad just like flips down and is like holding the edge and being like feet hovering in the air, like where do I step?
The door opens out, and so it has to like slice Lucian in half pretty much in order for him to get it open. And you can feel like as because you're kind of like talking, like Meredith opened the door to talk in hushed tones. You can feel as it opens the rest of the way, it like sliding across Lucian's lap, and you hear him just go, "Let's play. I'm begging you."
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get down, mate.
What?
Get down.
I'm trying.
You like slink in there. Go ahead and roll me acrobatics check.
16.
Cool. You like slink in there. You stick a foot in the face of a child, and Meredith's like, "Can you be a little careful, please?"
Oh, I'm so sorry.
think that she's like turns to whatever kid and it's just like, it's okay, sweetie, come here, whatever.
Yeah.
You hear Atticus go, is everything all right back there? I'm hearing quite a lot of interesting noises.
Oh, everything's fine.
Yeah, we're just playing a game with the kids, it's called
Foot face.
What? Lucian and Figure start freaking cracking up. Yeah, you shake your neighbor, It's to keep them awake because all the kids are, they're too docile and they're too low energy and I'm trying to keep them up so that we can, anyway. And friggin' Atticus is like, oh, well, maybe Finch would like to play. And he's like, puts his hands on your Finch's shoulder and gives it like a little squeeze.
Put him up.
Finch.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
Rested.
Would you like to play a game with the other children?
Depends. Is the game foolish?
It seems somewhat foolish.
Sounds like fun. I want to play.
Sana and Leela are like, something's going on back there. And I think when Finch, like, are you going to, like, make to get out of everything? Sana and Leela go, well, we could play a game up here.
You ladies want to play a game?
Yes, why not? And they're like, we can show you a hand clapping game.
Hand clapping?
Have you ever done it before?
No.
It's really fun. We play it all the time together.
Okay.
And they're just like, friggin' Miss Mary Mac, whatever. Something friggin' Meredith, some like child lore. And you hear that, everybody hears that from the front, and you hear Meredith go, I love those girls so much. They're so good.
I feel like Finch is like, I'm not coordinated enough for this.
And just like, well, you have to learn. So first you do this. So she's going to say miss, and you're going to cross your arms. Like they're teaching you the steps of the game.
Right. He's like taking notes.
On his notepad. And go ahead and roll our performance check.
For Finch?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he can do Miss Mary Mac.
9.
You're a little clumsy, but you get the gist.
I'm getting the hang of this.
Yeah, you are.
Do you not think so?
Oh, no. You're doing great. Here, we'll do... There's another verse. And they're like, they're doing the distraction.
Okay, well, I'll do this quickly. And Iffy kind of like is like getting his stuff out. And he's like, come here. You
are like surrounded by many children who are screwing stuff up. Lucian is gonna kind of like grab onto this like anything and kind of like pull himself forward because he was semi like reclined, kind of just leaning back. He pulls himself forward. He's like, oh, do it, mate. All right, get off of me. He's like elbowing like children. Kids. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a disadvantage, whatever disguise is.
I don't even remember. I think it was performance plus my proficiency, something like that.
I like it.
12.
What are you trying to do in order to make it more whatever?
I think he's trying to make it look more, like, realistic. So he's, like, trying to be like, okay, we're going to analogous colors to cancel out the blue and, a little more pink in the cheeks for the real human whatever. All right, your hair looks fine. Ooh, well, what?
Whoa.
Do you have dandruff?
No, mate. He's gonna like kind of like shake away from you a little bit. And he's like, it's snow.
What?
Look at it. Look at it closer.
It's like looking at his head.
And you can see like in the like as you look at his hair, it's kind of like a dull brown color, like a very like washed out brown color. You can see as you look at it, snowflakes are appear from the thin of the air and like kind of like freeze in one spot, and then kind of as he shakes his hair, they kind of fall down and melt into the air. There's no dandruff, mate.
Oh. Well,
Did you notice before?
if I'm being honest, you make such intense eye contact that I've really have not. I don't really know what you look like. I have a general idea, but it's so hard for me to look at you.
Or just because I'm looking at you in the eye?
Yeah.
Yeah, or sort to notice that.
What?
He's wiping his hand in front of his mouth. Well, I thought it's kind of hard to tell if you're looking at me or not.
Why?
Well, I mean, your eyes are all black.
Oh.
So, I thought you were. But a few times I made a face or a gesture or something, pointed at something. And I realised that you were looking at me. You're sort of looking past me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's weird, man. I look at you and it's like you're trying to read my soul. You're doing it now. I can't.
What else am I meant to look at, mate?
My mouth? I don't know. God! He's like keeps looking at him, being like, stop looking at me.
Yo, look away, mate. You can get a good look.
What?
I'm a bit different than normal right now. He, like, looks away.
I think Ethan actually does look at him and be like,
A bit of a different colour, but...
Okay, now you're looking at me again. You know, it's easy to look at Tavumile because she doesn't look anyone in the eyes ever. She's looking everywhere all of the time. I guess you kind of look similar. I don't know. I mean, you know, bark and stuff. Stop looking at me.
Get to work, mate. Don't be distracted by my
Trying.
devilish, handsome good looks, if you
Oh,
will.
I wouldn't say that. Remember, I'm the one that's desirable.
Right, I forgot. Well, either way, you've got a job to do.
I'm trying. It's quite bumpy.
Hits another bump. He's like, glory, lad, just put me out of my misery.
Okay, well, I'm out of paint, so...
Well, what does it look like? Let's find out.
Didn't I roll the performance check?
Yeah, I wanted to see if you got more than a 10, which you did. He rolls with advantage, and if you got less than a 10, he was going to roll with disadvantage. Like you had messed it up. Cool. So, I rolled with advantage.
Oh.
As you kind of like step back and you take a good look at your artwork, you hear fingers go, wow, man.
What?
That's good.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't, I mean, before, I mean, maybe, but now he the only thing is it definitely looks different.
What do you mean different?
Well, I mean, it's better.
Oh, okay. Good.
But he saw me when it was...
Oh, fuck. We could gaslight him.
Always little others.
Yeah, he was panicked when he first saw you because of his kid.
I think that we're going to have to. Oh, I don't know, I'm clearly, worse for wear, so...
You're looking better.
I'm looking better, I feel...
You're rested.
Better.
Yes. And he was panicked, and if we all claim the same thing...
We'll play it off.
I didn't think about that at all.
No, I didn't expect it to be that much changed. I mean, is it really? And he's like looking at himself.
Oh.
Psst. How's it looking?
You can look.
She, like, peeks the door open a little bit, like, try not to, like, bump into Lucian, and she's like, oh, it's a lot better. Are we just gonna pretend that...
Yeah, you're...
All right, and she shuts the door.
Am I the only one that didn't think about that? Why did nobody mention that?
Oh, I didn't think about it.
Oh, okay.
I thought what I thought you were gonna do was just touch it up a bit, touch up the paint because I sweat a bit.
You didn't really look that great. I did a bad job. I will admit it.
It wasn't. It was
bad.
It's serviceable, clearly. And he like looks in the direction of friggin' Atticus, etc. Well, yeah, we'll just have to play it off and hope for the best.
All right.
We'll play it off, and we'll see who's there. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, just don't touch your face.
Oh, I didn't intend to.
Okay.
Like friggin' another bump in the face. Ow! Just like that. You should just go, oh. What are you saying now, mate? Because I'm...
You're expecting your head to hit the carriage again?
No. No reason. And Fingers is gonna like scramble back onto the roof.
Friggin' Ethion's gonna roll insight on that.
Okay.
8.
You would have no reason to know what he could be talking about. And, so Fingers is, like, solidly on the roof, and he hears frickin' Leela going, okay, so, I guess we're done. And they go...
What?
Like, they fully stop playing with you and start facing forward again.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah, you can only play for a certain amount of time.
Oh. That's good. A timetable for a game.
That's quite adult, quite, scheduled fun.
But it's not foolish enough.
I suppose. It was quite regimented, I would say.
Do you ladies ever play, I Spy?
We've played before.
Do you want to play now?
Sure.
Alright. I spy something. Oh, red. And he is looking up at the sky.
Red? I'm not sure. Is it the sky?
No, it's a dragon up there.
A dragon?
He's pointing up at the sky.
They rubberneck their heads out of the thing. What do they see?
I feel like they see something that's not a dragon. I think it's like a wyvern, a big wyvern that's flying through the sky. But it's really high up, so it looks really small. It's like when you see a plane, and you're like, I know how big that is, but it looks not that big.
Yeah, and you guys are all silently like, wow, I've never seen one that big before. Wow.
That's not the... Ethiod, I think, has crawled back up to the roof. That's not the dragon. That is a dragon. It's flying. It's a wyvern.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen one.
A wyvern? Fingers, you said.
Wyvern, kiddo.
Wyvern?
Yes, Finch, I suppose that is a wyvern.
Huh. Why is it not a dragon?
Well, you see, Finch, and he launches into an explanation of wyverns v dragons, and Fingers is laying on the roof again, looking up at the wyvern. It's really big. Yeah. He's like, I haven't seen one of those in a really long time.
For a wyvern?
Yeah. They say that the red ones are supposed to be good luck.
Oh, really? Red?
Yeah.
Why red?
I don't know. I don't make legends about stuff. So maybe what?
Have you ever seen a dragon?
No. I don't think so.
I have.
No, yeah.
It was during the winter, and I was in this. It was kind of scary, actually. I was walking through. It was like an open field, I guess. I was trying to make it to the other tree line because I was going to just a town that was on the map. I saw a shadow on the ground, and I look up, and there's this thing blocking the sun flying past it, and I think it was a dragon because it had 4 legs.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a dragon.
Well, it was white. But I was terrified that I was going to get eaten, so I kind of saw that and then went, oh fuck, and then ran.
Are you talking about dragons up there?
Yeah.
You should ask Cynthia about the dragon he says he saw.
Sent it?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the guy?
Yeah, the carriage they're taking. Hey, it's bollocks, there's a load of nonsense. But, yeah, he says he saw one with 2 heads one time.
2 heads?
Yeah. He says they went round one way, you know, it was in a, it's like a mountainous area. And the lads are walking around one way. They see this pissing giant great lizard head. Like, right, we'll not go that way, will I? Go the other way. I turn round, go the other way, and on the other side there's another giant head in the way.
Well, it must have been 2 of them then.
Well, he says it's 2-headed. I mean, I don't know what the chances. I've seen 2 at once, or a 2-headed one. I've not seen one before.
The chances of that are even lower.
I'm not sure.
Have you seen a dragon before?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe from far away, and I didn't know, but...
They're, cool. And terrifying.
I'm happy for them to stick to their neck of the woods.
Oh. They're, I would hear sometimes, back at the Odazur clan, people's, like, horses or cattle would, they would just, like, find their legs or nothing at all. Their whole farm would be eaten. But maybe it wasn't a dragon, but wyverns, I don't think that they get that big.
I've not seen it. Not many times, at least. I've not seen something that big. But Tav at the farm, she said that she had a problem with them eating her tomatoes.
What?
Yeah.
They're carnivorous.
Well, I guess when they're little they're not omnivorous or something.
Oh.
But yeah, little ones. And one time I was at her house and she came in the door. Hands were all red. I was like, what's going on? We don't burn your hands doing what? And she was like, oh, the wyverns spit acid.
What?
Like, what wyverns are you fighting in your pissing garden? So I was like, oh, they eat the tomatoes. So I've got to, she said, I saved some tomatoes for the wyverns, but then they feel all entitled or whatever, you know, something like that. And then she said that they get used to it, you know. So she's got to sort of gently take them off, and sometimes they don't like it. So,
Oh.
But she showed me, sometimes they come back. I guess they remember, you know, food scarce wherever they go when they get big. I don't know anything about animals with it, and they come back to a place they know is food. And they're a bit larger, but I think, times are tough. They've settled for tomatoes instead of deer, rabbits, or something like that. And they're usually quite friendly.
Really?
That's what she says. I mean, if they're not, and they'll find out, or they call me the pacing cold hand of death.
What? The cold grip of death.
Yeah. But, so, I've not seen ones that large, though. I guess they get that large.
Tavumile has some balls on her. Growing what she was growing and not being afraid of wyverns, letting them spit acid on their hands. Doing all of this, she didn't seem very concerned at all.
She takes what comes to her.
Yeah, it's impressive. The life is terrifying, and I don't know how to live.
She doesn't see it that way, but she's not. She doesn't know,
Oh,
I don't want her to.
well, this might get her more familiar, unfortunately.
Well, I did my best, mate.
I'm not saying that it's your fault. Stuff just happens, I think.
I mean, it's bound to happen. Fingers has his head looking up at the wyvern, is just out of eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
He has his hands behind his head.
What do you mean?
Well, and he sits up and leans over the side, where you are. It can't not happen. Stuff. Life is like this.
I mean, I don't know. I hope that it can not be like this. That hasn't been true for me so far, but
I don't want it to be. I thought it wasn't going to be. I could make it. Not like that.
what do you mean? Not like that.
Not like this.
How could you change that?
Well, I mean, didn't exactly know this is what was going to happen. But I just mean that it's you can't, It's just stuff's gonna happen, and
you just have to deal with it.
I'm happy to deal with it. I can deal with it.
But it seems like she can too.
I don't want to have to. I get that.
I think that we don't always. I don't know. Never mind.
Lucian's gonna laugh, and Fingers is gonna look over his shoulder at you.
Yeah, I feel like Ethiot has become suddenly aware of how vulnerable he's being.
I mean, of course. Of course this would happen.
Of course.
I don't know why I'm surprised.
What do you mean?
All of this.
Why, of course?
Because
Okay.
Fingers, you're still tired. Not really, but I catch your drift. And Fingers is gonna, like, climb back up onto the roof and, like, lay down.
What?
What? If I stare at you long enough, maybe you look away.
Do you want me to go away?
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay. Goodbye. He crawls back on top of the
Lucian,
roof.
like, rolls his eyes.
I think that Ethiod's like,
And you do that. Cool. So, you all continue on your way. It's getting ever darker as the two carriages roll towards their destination. And as they approach their individual inns that they will be staying at in the evening, somewhere quite far away, a terror-stricken Vray is wending his way through the jungle back towards a secret door that he had fallen come upon by himself. What is going through your mind as you run back to the place from whence you came?
I think probably every instance of, you know what? Yeah, every instance of Farneel not allowing him to help him in any capacity at all, and the instance in the hospital when he said, you don't know, maybe one day I'll need it. And
all of a sudden,
this being the moment he needs it.
Yeah, hitting frickin' you in the face as hard as you can.
And being like, this must be real, legit, if he's asking for help.
So, as you book it in that direction, you try and remember, I was freaking, there's this flower on this stump that I noticed, wending your way back through the jungle. You haven't gotten very far when you have this conversation with Farneel, if you will. You work your way back towards where you came from, and go ahead and roll for me an athletics check.
Okay.
And then I want you to roll a perception check.
8 athletics. Frickin' 4 perception.
Cool. So, because you are so juiced up, it's a jungle. There are vines, there are rocks, there's whatever.
Yeah.
You're running that direction, you're tripping on crap, scraping up the knees of your pants, the whole nine. And you're just like sweating buckets, booking it in that direction. And as you finally approach the door, you're gonna slam your body into the door. Are you trying to be covert ops, or are you just trying to? No, because
I don't think he cares.
And as you are running in that direction, you can hear, not even in hushed tones, the door is shut, but you can hear it nonetheless. Presumably the folks who were speaking before say the following things. Oh, Egwin, you're going to give yourself a heart attack. Nobody's going to believe him anyway. If he's as much of a screw-up as you're saying he is. Besides, if he does come back, we can find out where the thornagolds are growing water, Clary. And you hear another voice say, Marwood, I can't believe you told him about Hazen if he goes to the castle and mentions something. Look, I thought he would care more about his friend in danger and actually hear us out, drop the tough guy act for the sake of his best friend. Guess Farneel is wrong about him after all. He's just a little street punk, and that's when you arrive.
Yeah, friggin', he, opens up the doors and, leaves them open and comes down the stairs. And he's just standing in front of them. He's like, a little street punk.
Well,
you're going to take me to the castle.
A good roll a perception check real quick.
Okay. 11.
You look around and see that the office looks somewhat more disheveled than it did when you came in.
Okay.
Things are in bags and stuff is askew and people are putting things in their pockets and that sort of thing.
What are you picking up?
Well, I mean, these two lads, they're supposed to prepare for contingencies like this. What, we're supposed to prepare for the son of one of the wealthiest families to just waltz into a little,
Right, I talked to Fenra.
Safe room. What did you say, lad?
He said to find Marwyn, which is you.
What do you mean you talked to Fenra?
I mean, I talked to him. You're going to come with me to the castle and you're going to be my escort. He said the king's crazy.
Well, I guess he gave you a bit more insight into the situation than we'd bargained for. Well, you want to save him, do you?
I want to see him.
Well, you're not going to be able to do that.
Why?
They're not going to let you in.
Why?
Where they're conducting the experiments. I mean, even I can't get in there, and I.
Alright, what if I volunteer?
They won't let you. There's
Why?
no way. Because you're not from there.
Not from where?
You know where.
Oh.
They're the least likely to have significant relations.
He's gonna freaking walk towards, like, he's like staring freaking Marwyn in the eyes, and he reaches out and he like grabs his collar and pushes him up against a wall. You're going to take me to the castle.
He grabs your wrist, kind of pulls your arm. He's not trying to like release it.
Yeah.
He's just like holding on to it. And he says, "You don't know anything about the situation."
Then tell me.
You want to save him.
Yeah.
Well, we do too.
Oh. You expect me to believe that?
You said that he told you to find me?
Yeah.
He's going to raise an eyebrow at you.
Right, you're going to explain. Quit hiding stuff. I already know more than you want me to know. I'm not going to drop it.
Well, I suppose he's got a point, lads. Well, I don't see why we can't make him an honorary member. I don't really think that power is vested in us. Welcome to the Sea Monkeys.
What?
I named it.
And I'm sorry, who are you again?
It's a organization. Anyway, we'll explain the finer details later. The point is that we have some insight into the potency of water clary and the negative effects it has, and
What are the negative effects?
well, I believe your friends told you that.
What makes you go crazy?
The way I see it, lad, the only way you really have to help your friend is by helping us find a cure.
How do I go about doing that?
Well, I'm not really sure, but I do have an idea.
And that's what this is.
Well, yes, I mean, you know, it's humble, but we've not had so much success, but I've got to find a way to, you know, it is my fault after all.
Your fault.
Well, I've got to say, this is something that you really should ask your parents about. I'm sure they'd be happy to tell you all about.
They would be happy to tell me about anything.
Well, they are a bit daft. The point, you don't mind my saying so.
No.
But the point is this. Yes.
How's it your fault?
The king is crazy. And he went crazy from using water clary to see the future. The strain of water clary that I created.
You created?
and your family propagated throughout the entire war.
What would you help the wolf with?
Well, that's a long story. I don't think we've got time for it now. I'd say time's most likely of the essence.
If you made it, why would you care about curing it?
Well, you see, it doesn't just make you go crazy. I mean, it's, in so many words, it makes you want something.
Want something?
More desperately than anything else. It wants to grow.
Oh?
It wants to propagate itself. So the king wants to grow a lot. All over the place. You can see why this might be a bit of a problem.
I think Viray is looking at him like he's insane. We're the pollinators.
Well, not us. Mostly just the king. The previous king.
Kaiser Withway?
Aye.
Wait. This is rubbish. This can't be true.
All right, it's not. Leave. But I will say, if you tell anybody about us, your chances of your friend surviving plummet. There's not anybody else around these parts looking for a cure, trying to find a way to stop it. Not only that, but the current king, Monsterl. I'll save that for later, I suppose. So leave. Kill your friend.
Not leaving.
All right. See, lads, that's how you get a lad on your side. You just got to offer him a bit more information.
Quit stroking your ego. What do you need?
Well, it's funny you should ask. There's gonna be a party. Now stay with me, lad. Are you sure that he would be? I don't know how anybody else we could send. You're all a bunch of undercover military, high-ranking whatever. They're going to notice you the moment you start acting a bit strange and you go out there and you start a war because you're sniffing around places you're not meant to be. This kid's untouchable.
Right,
we just found that out.
There's a party.
There's a party. Your parents have been invited as it goes. And, well, what a beautiful opportunity. You to tag along all the way to the Talenthi Castle.
Talenthi Castle?
Just do a bit of snooping around on our behalf.
What does the Talenthi have to do with this?
Well, it seems that they've gotten a hold of some.
Water clary?
Yes.
Can't grow it over there.
Oh, can't you?
How'd they get a hold of it?
Lad, you're not a very good listener. As I've said, he wants it to grow. It wants to grow. It will make you, it'll either kill you, or it'll infect your mind, enter your dreams. You only want to do one thing and one thing only, and if someone's got the influence to make it happen, it's him. Now, don't ask me how he's explained away to the lads. I mean, I don't know how many high-ranking Withway officials, retainers and that advisors are on the juice. But the ones that aren't, I don't know how he's explained it away to them. But he has. And it's made its way there. We just want you to do a bit of snooping around. And, like, if you find yourself accidentally in a room you're not supposed to be in, well, you're just the, punk, street punk, was it? And he looks at Mowen.
Yeah, it may be untouchable here. Talenthi doesn't give two shits about me.
As I've said, it's up to you. Let your friend die. Look, they've invited your parents.
I'm going to do it. Just set your expectations right.
This is what I expect. You to go there, ask a few, not thoughtful questions. He's kind of like crossing his arms, walking towards you. Oh, has the king been acting a bit funny lately? I don't know. He looks a bit under the weather. You're, of course, talking about the Talenthi king.
You afraid he's using it?
Well, he's got a hold of it. Quite a lot. So we can see what we might be dealing with and what's safe for the king. And I don't mean Kaiser. You come back, you report what you found. At least we'll know what we're dealing with.
How's that going to help you find a cure?
Well, we're working on that all of the time. Soon we'll have our own little test subject, and he's gonna wink at freaking Mowen, who looks at him like freaking wide-eyed, and he goes, it's just a bit of a joke, Mowen.
Okay.
It's a bit of we're all, working in the same direction. Besides, you never know, maybe they've cured it and they're holding out on us or something.
When's this party?
2 days. Your parents are leaving tonight.
Yeah, I'd expect that. Takes quite a while to get there. Well, is that so hard? He's gonna let go of Marwyn and leave.
And you hear, are you just straight up walking that way? And you hear Monster go, "It was nice to meet you."
Can't say the same.
And then you hear Egwin go, "Do you really think he'll do it?" And then you shut the door behind you. And while all that is going on, as Veray makes his way back home, probably hastening a bit, knowing,
the stakes.
Knowing, that he's got to get there before his parents leave and get ready to explain the situation. What is running through his head?
I think that he's like, my parents are so much worse than I thought that they were. Like, and do they know that this is a thing? Do they know the effects of it? Did they know the whole time? Also, I think he's boiling with rage about how people treat high elves from Harithia. He's like, it's never stopped. It's never gotten better. 4 years it's been over. More than that since Harithia's 4. And there's still lesser. Yes. I think that he's never been less proud to be a high elf.
Mm-hmm. As he's running as fast as he can back to his parents' house, It's in that moment that Tavumile and friends arrive at the woodcutter's arms. Mm. And they show up in the carriage, pull up outside, and Scent that, gives an explanation about how he knows the proprietors, and so to play it cool, I mean, Iffy, talking about it, he's going to be like, oh, these travelers, I will tell them that we're all, whatever.
Why do they need to know anything?
They'll ask, what am I doing taking a bunch of folks at the Talenthi Castle Town? They know I'm a merchant.
Well.
So when they ask, I will tell them that that's exactly, I've booked passage. You asked, it's not like that. I'm not, but that I was doing a favour. And Tavumile, they know of you, lass. But they do. I've talked about you before.
Really?
So they might say your name. And when they do, you're going to say nothing at all. Because you don't know who she is.
Right.
Right. That sort of thing. Fully briefed everyone. Outside, beautiful, fully wooden exterior paneling and big old sign, and it's properly nighttime when you get there. You walk inside, and, there's just a few folks eating whatever scent that talks forever to the proprietor of the inn about, you have no idea, as you all just sit there and wait for him to appear with lodging information, basically.
I think that as that's happening, if he's like, well, I'm starving, so I'm going to go see what they have to eat if y'all just want to stay. I mean, are y'all hungry? You could come, or I could bring you something.
Well, I suppose, I don't know, I'd like to find out where we're sleeping first, and I don't know, maybe go to sleep.
All right. Yeah, is he? I'm fine, thank you. You're welcome. I think that if he's like, she said thank you. And turns to Tavumile, and Tavumile's like, I think I'll stay here, but if you want to bring me back something, that would be really lovely. All right, will do. And if he's going to go off towards the bar.
So as you walk in that direction, what you pass, a few people talking, chatting, filling the air as it has many times before, the smell of alcohol and food and smoke, cigarette smoke. As you walk up to the bar, you hear, go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw.
All right. Unnatural 20.
It reminds you of the story that you told earlier. And that memory plays through your mind of, you at the Augie Chestnut, that day, and at that time when you were on leave and seeing, all your friends getting drunk for the first time, you getting drunk for the first time. And that, a warmth in your stomach as you remember approaching Vatil at the end of the bar and him telling you to get lost because you smelled. And that kind of fills you as you walk across the floor.
I think that she's kind of like, has a light smile on her face because she's like, oh, it's a nice memory, Had good times. And just keeps going towards the bar. I think that she's like, kind of taking a lot of deep breaths to like inhale that smell of smoke and alcohol and like that familiar kind of musk.
And as you walk up there and you get closer, you go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay. That one.
You are really focusing on that memory.
Yeah.
Because it was so nice. It's really, even though it wasn't, the circumstances were complicated, it was nicer than this. You got in your head, what's going on with me, that feeling complicated about that, and then everything's up in the air, you don't know what's going on. You approach the bar, and you see the barkeep is chatting with a customer. It's not really paying any attention to your presence.
Yeah. Hey, I had a few questions about what you offer. If that's all right.
Oh, sorry. And she's like kind of like looks over her shoulder, and looks back at the customer at the end of the bar, and says, "Well, here's your bourbon," and puts it down. That's where we're gonna end this episode of Nat 2.
Wait.
Tune in next week for who knows what's gonna happen. Who knows what's going on?
What?
Who knows? I don't know. Well, catch you on the flippity flip. Our backs and necks and everything hurt so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bro. An action-packed ending, that's for sure.
Use your